From Seoul, Korea, KBS World Radio News Today starts right now.
On today's broadcast, authorities report 1,987 COVID-19 infections on Thursday, the second highest daily case count to date. North Korea doesn't respond to daily inter-Korean contact for the third day after communication was restored 2 weeks ago. And tensions are high in both the ruling and opposition parties as presidential contenders jostle to gain an edge over their rivals. This is KBS World Radio News. I'm Emma Kalka. Daily COVID-19 cases neared 2,000 a day after hitting a new high of 2,223. The Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency said on Thursday that 1,987 cases were confirmed throughout the previous day. While it dropped 236 cases from those reported on Wednesday, the figure is still the second highest on record and marks the 37th consecutive day that daily cases have been 4 digits. Of the new cases, 1,947 were local transmissions, while 40 were from overseas. The Seoul metro area accounted for 61.7% of local cases, reporting 1,201. Non-capital areas added 746 cases, hitting a record high for the second consecutive day since the beginning of July, which is considered the start of the pandemic's fourth wave in South Korea. A government delegation is scheduled to visit the U.S. for talks with Moderna representatives to resolve the issue of delayed COVID-19 vaccine shipments. Senior Health Ministry official Son Young-rae said on Thursday that the delegation led by Second Vice Health Minister Kang Do-tae will depart on Friday. While the government has said the contract with Moderna doesn't state a distribution timetable, the delegation plans to make an official complaint and secure Moderna's promise to prevent such a recurrence. Earlier, Moderna notified Seoul that it can only supply less than half of the 8.5 million doses that it agreed to deliver in August, citing production problems. This prompted authorities to extend the interval between doses from Moderna and Pfizer vaccines. Recovery payouts for small business owners who suffered damage from the COVID-19 pandemic will begin next week. The Ministry of SMEs and Startups said on Thursday that payouts to 1.78 million businesses will start next Tuesday. Eligible businesses are those that adhered to the government's operation bans and restrictions between August 16th of last year and July 6th this year, or are facing a management crisis after suffering big losses in sales last year. Those forced to shut down for 6 weeks or longer can receive up to 20 million won, while those that shut down for less than that can get up to 14 million won. Restricted businesses that adhered to quarantine measures for 13 weeks or longer are eligible for a maximum of 9 million won. Finance Minister Hong Nam-ki expressed concerns that the latest wave of COVID-19 infections will begin to factor into major economic indices to be published this month. Hong presided over an emergency economic meeting at the government complex in Seoul on Thursday and said real economy indicators continue to show recovery, albeit on a limited scale. However, the minister said it is inevitable to see the impact of the latest surge in cases manifested from August and urged officials to work hard to minimize the fallout and maintain the recovery trend. North Korea has not responded for the third day to daily inter-Korean contacts that were restored 2 weeks ago. The Unification Ministry said Thursday that its regular morning contact via the liaison hotline at 9 a.m. did not go through, while a military official confirmed that morning calls on its western and eastern lines were not answered either. The two Koreas had kept regular contact via the liaison hotline at 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. and the military lines at 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. every day since the links were reinstated on July 27th. However, the North has remained unresponsive since Tuesday when South Korea and the U.S. kicked off a preliminary joint training ahead of the annual summertime military exercise next week. The military is said to have detected no signs of provocation from the North at present. China, which recently opposed the annual South Korea-U.S. military exercise, is currently conducting large-scale maneuvers of its own with Russia. Military forces from China and Russia have reportedly launched joint drills involving some 10,000 forces at a combined arms tactical training base in China's western Ningxia-Hui Autonomous Region. Speaking to China's CCTV on Monday, Lieutenant General Liao Zhaoyu, the deputy commander of the Western Theater Command, said the exercise includes testing innovative combat tactics. China has been enhancing military coordination with Russia in an apparent show of force and to flaunt its modernized weapons to the U.S. It is also seeking to deter terrorist groups operating in Central Asia. Gyeonggi Governor Lee Jae-myung's camp has proposed that all the election camp chiefs in the Democratic Party's primary make a joint declaration that they will accept the primary results. On a KBS radio program on Thursday, Woo Won-sik, the head of Lee's election committee, said the declaration would effectively prevent negative campaigning among the candidates. This comes after Seol-hoon, the committee chief for another DP primary candidate, Lee Nak-yeon, denied accusations from the governor's team that he previously suggested they would object should Lee Jae-myung win. Speaking to KBS, Seol dismissed the proposal, saying there's no need for the declaration and that the governor's camp is only trying to set it up so that it appears the former DP chief will reject the primary results. The camp for former Prime Minister Chung Se-kyun also opposed the idea. Tensions are escalating between main opposition People Power Party leader Lee Jun-suk and presidential contender Yoon Suk-yeol after Yoon's camp mentioned impeachment when talking about a dispute over Lee's decision on the primaries. On a local radio program on Wednesday, Shin Ji-ho, a member of Yoon's camp, said even the president can be impeached when his or her decision is not based on the Constitution or law. Emphasizing that those in power can't arbitrarily exercise authority in a republic, Shin said Lee's proposal for a pre-primary candidate debate has neither a systematic basis nor precedent. In response, Lee wrote on social media that no camp has ever attacked a party leader ahead of a presidential election, adding that he will keep an eye on how Yoon's camp will handle Shin's inappropriate comments. Shin later denied that his comments were intended to attack Lee, but were about a republic's basic principle of impeachment. While two policy debates are scheduled to be held on August 18th and 25th, several primary candidates, including Yoon, have yet to confirm their participation. President Moon Jae-in touted the so-called Moon Jae-in Care, or his administration's policy to reinforce national health insurance, while marking its 4th anniversary. Speaking from his office on Thursday, Moon said the policy aims to guarantee everyone access to health care, regardless of their socioeconomic status. According to government data, some 37 million people have saved 9.2 trillion won in medical expenses over the past 3 years. The benchmark Korea Composite Stock Price Index fell 12.24 points, or 0.38% on Thursday, closing the day at 3,208.38. And that's the news from KBS World Radio News Center in Seoul. I'm Emma Kalka.